Okay, so today's question is going to be, what if I fail to succeed? Now, this particular question, I think at some level affects us all on a regular basis. Some it affects at a low level, meaning you've kind of conquered some limiting beliefs. Some it affects you even right now, right? It's something that you've been struggling with for some time. Here's what I would say. I would say, given the fact that I personally struggled with that question for a number of years and it held me back for way too long, I would say maybe it's time to change the question. And here's the reason why. The human brain is wired in such a way that it's going to answer the question that you give it. So if you ask yourself, what if I fail to succeed? Your brain is going to give you 15 reasons why you might fail. And 15 different reasons why it might create pain. However, if you change the question to what can I learn or what can I amplify, your brain is going to give you answers to those questions, which means it's going to give you solutions rather than problems. So let's think about it this way. It is time to change the question. Not to what if I fail, but what can I learn? How can I grow? What can I amplify? What mentor do I need? Right? Your brain will begin answering those questions, which give you solutions, which then get you on the path from going stuck to unstoppable. So it's not about the failure, it's about whether or not you're learning. And as long as you keep going, you are unstoppable. So the next question is, what if I succeed and I can't handle it? It's funny how so many of us, including myself, and I did this for a long time, are both fearful of success and failure at the same time. Okay? Here's what I've discovered. The power of growing or the power of achieving typically dictates that you have to become stronger at a lot of different things. Maybe stronger mentally, maybe stronger financially, maybe stronger relationally. But at the end of the day, as long as you are taking practical steps each and every day, then by the time you get to a place of success or whatever you deem in success in your life right now, okay, you will have the character built up over time. The only way that you can get yourself in trouble is trying to rush the process, right? We've all seen the people that win a bunch of money on the lottery and are literally bankrupt like 2 years later, okay? That is an example of where the character wasn't matched up with the climb, right? What I teach here is only what I've lived. And what I've lived is, as long as you take a daily step forward to better yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally, by the time you get to each level of growth, right? Each level of success, number one, there's another one behind it, okay? Your character and your confidence are already built up. Why? Because you already have little wins to go off of, right? You've already had a time where maybe you got paid a little more money because you added a little more value, right? You've already had a time where you've actually been able to travel a little more because you were able to add more value, which got you a higher level of income. You see what I'm saying? It's all interconnected, right? So the secret to success in this format and being ready for it is to constantly be growing, all right? And one of the biggest mistake I've ever made in business was building a business without building myself. And as long as you are building yourself, then whether you're building a business or building a great family or all of it combined, you will be ready, right? Because your confidence will become unshakable because you have now proven to yourself that anything is possible. All right, the next question is an important one, and it's one that we all face, and that's, what if I'm not worth it? What if I'm not worth it? It's the wrong question, because you are worth it. You're worth every single hidden possibility inside of you. You're worth every single action, every single sacrifice, and every single life that if you keep going that you'll touch. You're worth that, for sure. And it doesn't matter if you grew up like I did in a difficult place or if you grew up in an abusive place, right? You still have immense value. Maybe other people haven't recognized it yet because they're dealing with their own garbage, right? But that shouldn't take away from whether or not you feel like you have value. In fact, many of our Transform You shirts that we have at our live events, all in the back, all say I'm worth it because you're worth it, right? The whole reason I'm doing this is because you're worth it. The whole reason we list out content is because you're worth it. The whole reason we are actively trying to do live events and online events and different ways to connect and help you is because you're worth it. You're worth it so much that I've given and dedicated my life to this particular path of service because I believe in you. I believe in you because someone once believed in me. Long before I did. Okay? Now I have the self-confidence of all the little wins and all the struggles and all the sacrifices and all the overcoming. And if you just keep going, you're going to get there. All you got to do is keep going. That's all you have to do. Learn, grow, take a step. Learn, grow, take a step. Learn, grow, take a step. And you'll be able to look back in a way you can't understand right now and see an amazing life that took time to develop. But more importantly, you're going to see your own transformation. And when you can see your own transformation, the next thing that's going to happen is you will be able to take the transformation that happened to you and teach someone else how to do it. That's how you transform 1 million lives, is by teaching people how to transform themselves and being part of helping them transform others. You're worth it. Keep at it. All right. So our final question for this particular session is going to be this. Why do I feel like I never make it? Why do I feel like I never make it? And that's an interesting question. I think that's one that actually takes a little reflection. Okay. Here are 4 questions that we've taught both in our online stuff and also in our live events that I think are very pivotal. They were taught to me, and they're intentionally vague. Okay. The reason they're intentionally vague is because with a paper, pad, and a pen, however you want to take your notes. Okay. If you will spend roughly 15 minutes on each question and just be quiet, you'll be surprised at some of the answers that you hear. All right. Here are the 4 questions. Okay. Hidden inside of your question. Question number 1 is what's going right, or what can I be thankful for, right? So what's going right in your life, okay? Whether you are having the most difficult year you've ever had, you can always be thankful for waking up. You can always be thankful for waking up. And I'm going to be honest with you. There were times in my life that I share publicly at live events and also on our online platform where I share very, very transformational, very, very vulnerable stories of mine, where simply waking up the next day was a big deal for me. I mean, like a really big deal. So no matter where you're at, you can always be thankful for that there. All right. So make sure you're taking the time to list the things that you can be thankful for, right? Maybe you've got shelter. Maybe you got food. Maybe you got like decent clothes, right? Be thankful. Maybe you got somebody who loves you, right? Be thankful. Okay. The next one is what's missing. What's missing? Okay. And again, it's where you ask the question and then you sit still. You sit still, paper, pad, and a pen, and as things pop into your mind, you just quickly jot them down. Okay, what's missing? You know, maybe it's financial security is missing. Maybe it's a quality relationship that's missing, right? Maybe it's feeling like you're making progress, right? But you list these things down. Okay. The next question is what's confusing. Okay, so what's confusing might be something like, well, I'm really not sure how I can get my financial security in place without getting this other job. Okay. Or I'm really not sure how I can develop a stronger relationship when I can't get someone else to come my direction. Okay. Those things are confusing, right? Those things, they're not easy. They're not questions that you can answer alone a lot of times. Okay. Which also means you might need a mentor. All right. The final question is what's going wrong. All right. And here's the thing about what's going wrong. And one of the reasons why I like to have this question last is because 90% of the time, everything you put in what's going wrong bucket can typically be put in what's missing or confusing. 9 times out of 10. That's what we see. Here's why these questions are so important, okay? If you never feel like you're going to make it, it's because you don't have a plan, okay? You don't have a plan because you haven't identified some of the areas that need your attention, okay? So you're spinning your wheels, all right? Just like I used to do. You're just kind of spinning and spinning and spinning. These questions begin to shape up some of the things that you need to amplify, clarify, find and replace, and or completely remove, okay? Once we have those parts and pieces, we then take your imagination and your goals and we say, okay, where do I want to be 12 years or 12 months from now? Where do I want to be 24 months from now? Where do I want to be 36 months from now? Where do I want to be 60 months from now? And then we can begin to build a plan backwards to helping you actually get that. That way you don't have to feel this way. Because it's not a matter of whether or not you can make it, because you can. You can. You can make it through anything. The level of adversity and the sacrifice that you're able to overcome is much, much bigger than you possibly ever can imagine. Okay? And on the other side of that sacrifice and that adversity is opportunity and possibility and purpose and passion. Okay? So use those 4 questions. See if those will at least get you started on being able to shape a renewed mindset. Because right now it seems like you're having a battle of the mind. And I get it. I've been there, which is why I use these questions myself personally, even now when I feel like I'm getting into a stuck place. Hope that helps. All right. I hope you enjoyed the question and answer session for today. If you want your question answered on a future episode or here or on Instagram, go ahead and email me at questions@journeyprinciples.com, and I'll be happy to take the time to answer it the best way possible so you can begin to win in your life. Thanks again for watching.